Ah, and what a better way to start a video with my lovely trusty Coke Zero. Coke, if you're looking to sponsor a channel, I'll pump you guys a stock, I'll do anything, just send me more Coke Zeros. What an insane week this week, guys. We completely almost bounced back. Not say fully, but we're like more than halfway to the bounce back from that dip. So last week's video, we're like in panic mode, time to sell, time to, just bail out on the stock market. And now we're back at, full bullish. We talked about that last week. I didn't mention that we might see some 50 EMA going down, and we saw that quickly hit the 100 EMA, which I told you guys we would bounce on it. Once we hit 100 EMA, we bounced back up on it. But we're gonna go into the S&P 500 chart today too, because you guys really enjoyed that video, especially when we see this volatility. You guys are unsure, which way the market's gonna go. We also had some great news on Thursday with the Feds, and if you did not watch KK's video, make sure to watch the KK's video to understand what the Feds say and why it was that bullish indicator for stock market. What does that mean going forward? So if you guys like videos like this, if you guys want to know the hottest weekly watch list on the freaking YouTube channel or all the YouTube channels, make sure you subscribe to this channel. Make sure you sign up, hit the links down below to trade with me live, trade over here, small players. We make bank. Market goes up, market goes down, we bank out either way. So make sure you guys sign up and check out all the links down below. But let's get straight into the charts, because that's what you guys are here for at the end. You guys are here to watch me drink Coke Zero and read charts. So like I said, I told you guys, let's get straight into it, and let's look at the S&P 500 ETF Trust chart, because that's probably, we'll start from there, and then we'll slowly get into all the stocks we're watching for this week. So what happened on Monday, we saw this big gap down here, and when I talked about this area here being a support area, which we just pretty much capped down under it, so it didn't even matter. And we saw how it was an area of resistance, so you can understand how support became resistance. But then we broke out of it, filled this gap that we had here from this gap down, and now we've been grinding up upwards. I would like to add some indicator to talk about the moving average exponential input. Let's talk about the 50 EMA, which is very important, and then I like to talk about 100 EMA. That was the where we pretty much bounced on. Change that to red, so don't get confused. So you guys saw, I mentioned last week's video, once this 50 EMA would drop, we're gonna test the 100 EMA. We saw that's right where all the buyers came in. We bounced up on it, and now we've been grinding higher. So now this will look very strong. The main issue that I do see, what do you guys see here? We've been getting rejected right up on this trend line right here. You see this trend line? We've been chopping on it. We did close a little bit above it, so if Monday the pre-market is good, I think we definitely have a clear room to test the next, this 448, this other, the secondary trend line that we've been drawing. So this first trend line that we broke up, we're grinding up on it, pretty much breaking above it. It goes back all the way to the April 2020 crash, and as you guys can see, it's been an area of support before. We did correct down under it. So my expectation for next week, depending on Monday the pre-market works out, if we're above it, I will be looking to see if we will test this next trend line. That will be the next major area of resistance. I think if we do break above that, I think we have a clear room to make another all-time high level. And as long as we do see this bit of a head and shoulder pattern that could be forming here, if we see a rejection, which we did talk about potentially just being one of the outcomes that we see going into this week, talked about that last week. So if we do see this head and shoulder pattern, I will get worried about neckline just around this level right here or so. Excuse my drawing, but definitely this will be main area of watch for me this week. If we do break above this trend line, if we can break above the secondary one, if not, if we make this other shoulder, then definitely look very bearish to me as you see this head and shoulder pattern. But like you said, if you guys watched the videos last week, we did catch the bounce here on this 100 EMA. So congrats to you. Congrats if you. It's scary to buy into the dips, but the dips do get bought out. If you're a long-term portfolio, add into the dips. If you're day trading, look for the reversal, but be smart about it. So first ticker that I will be looking at from coming into next week is ticker symbol ZM. So ticker symbol Zoom. Oh, I already have stuff drawn out. But what am I looking at ticker symbol Zoom? Of course, they had earnings on 30th of August, and they actually surprisingly beat the earnings, but they still got it was a bad earnings, as the outlook of getting more customers, growing the company is not looking as bright. So we had this massive gap down here, pretty much from the 337s all the way to 280, high 288s. and you know that's almost a $40 drop, which is massive, massive, massive. And ever since then, as you guys can see, it has not been able to recover. It actually had, you know, it grinded up on the support area right here and then flushed under. But on Friday, it made this double bottom here. As you guys can see, at around this double bottom on these blue lines right here, around 260 and a half, 265, sorry, 275, 273, around that area. It made this double bottom. Now I'll be looking for this double bottom to show signs of reversal and looking to catch a bounce back up. First area will be 289, 290, and then next will be up to 382, or sorry, 302. The confusing my and then we get the horizontal line will be over here on 300, 382, and then if that breaks, I think we can definitely see a move up to try to fill this potential gap. But you do have the 50 EMA and 100 EMA coming down, which will show probably will be signs of rejection. So just be careful with that. And also another thing I'd like to point out is that we did bounce in this area here. We had this consolidation area back in July, that July to August, June to August pretty much, so almost a 3-month consolidation area, which then was caused by a massive run all the way from the mid 200s to over almost 580, almost 600. So we see how this consolidation area was rendered as support, which was right above it. You know that. So this was a very strong support. We double bottom it and we hit the top of this consolidation area. So this is definitely stock that I'll be looking at. Of course, it is stock that we're trying to buy a dip on. Stock that we're looking for the double bottom. So be quick with the profits. Understand the areas of resistance. Look for the reversal, and this I think will play out really good. We saw this double bottom plays really work out well both with Open and Z going to last week. Or the last week watch list, and they sold off, but it's fine because you know we're day traders and we're swing traders, so we do take profits, guys. Keep in mind that, you know, I get a lot of people that's like, oh, this stock they talked about weeks ago has sold off. I'm like, well, if you look at the chart here, our profit targets, we sold out of it, and we're not holding. These are not long-term holds, so you know, make sure you guys are aware of that. The difference between being a trader and an investor, very big differences. Next, let's talk about another ticker symbol that I'm really excited for going to next week, which is a fan favorite, ticker symbol AMD. This is a fan favorite. Everybody loves AMD, right? I mean, where have you been if you don't love AMD? So what do I like about AMD? Well, first, doesn't this setup look similar to what we saw here, which we talked about midsummer before the earnings? That we talked about the setup, and it did really well for us, right? We pretty much caught the bottom here in this breakout all the way to the top, which was also led by their earnings. So it's making a similar falling wedge pattern. Falling wedge pattern is a bullish pattern, so that's what we're looking at. It bounced right here on the 50 EMA. You see, they kind of wicked under it, but it was able just to squeeze right on it, and now it's found the support. It's bounced up on it, but it is on this area of resistance, which would be 105.5. My trigger entry for a long position will be 106.50, which will be the confirmation of the breakout level here. Also, I had this rectangle box here, and if you follow us in our Discord private room, I said this is probably the area too long, which you see that we found support in this area once and now twice. I'll be looking for this breakout 106.50. And once we see this breakout, in the next area that I'll be looking at profits, our first area will be 109, 110, and after that I'll be looking at 115, and after that potentially all-time highs. But the way I like to take profits, I usually take more than 50% of my original position and my first profit target. Then, but if I do hit my second profit target, I take another about 30-35%. I leave only about 10 to 15% of my original position to ride for free. That's personally how I like to take profits. I get a lot of questions asked about, hey, you mentioned multiple profit targets. How do you take those? I'm very heavy on taking profits on the first profit target. So, you know, I'm safe. It says green trade, no matter what happens. If I break even if I break out a little bit of a loss, it ends up being green because I took so much profit out. So I take most of my profit out, the first profit target, and slowly scale out on the second and the third. The more profit targets, the later I go, the less and less profits I keep in, because there's a higher chance of that profit target never hitting. So AMD, the triple Q is looking pretty good as the whole sector. So if we see breakout here, I have my alert set about 106.50. If we see breakout above that, I'll be looking for a potential entry with those profit targets as well. The setup looks very, very similar to me as the one that we saw in mid-July and August. And if you drag this out, you can see that we bounced pretty much on this ascending support that we saw this first bounce in the summer. We saw that with this red candle, that's just right where it wicked. So showing that they're showing signs they want to keep this longer term uptrend that's been on since pretty much of May of 2021. So pretty much 4 or 5 months. Next, so that's 2 tickers that we talked about. What is the third ticker? What is the third secret ticker that we're going to be talking about? Next up, let's talk about ticker symbol Playboy, PLBY. So ticker symbol Playboy, why is this on the watch list? You know, why do you have this meme stock up here? How dare you? Well, there's a few things I like this on the daily chart. First of all, I would like to point out it is under 50 EMA, and you see it's where it got rejected. So for this play to work out, we're going to need to break above the 50 EMA. First of all, we saw how it bounced right on top of this consolidation area before, you know, this massive breakout. That's where we find support, and it's made a higher high. Why is that important? Well, it's made a double bottom high R. So this gives me this type of look. It's formed in a shorter formed W pattern, aka a double bottom, making a higher I, showing that it has bullish signs into it. It wants to make higher highs, it wants to make higher lows, that type of stuff. So it's giving me really this short form W pattern, which we talked about on this channel before. The short term M and W patterns, how they're impactful. The double bottom and double top pattern in general, how it has this really high probability of working out for us. That's why we love to trade it. Well, this is what this is giving me. You guys can look at it. W pretty much trying to make this new higher high, but I would put my resistance area around $30. A lot of these meme stocks also, you know, they consider for a long time, they get shorted a lot, and then we're looking for the strong short squeeze. So what my entry will be above this 50 EMA, a stock that definitely has a higher risk of not working out for us, because, you know, this is a riskier stock. But I think it's definitely the risk reward is there, and it makes sense to add to our watch list. Nothing hurts adding to our watch list, you know, adding an extra alert. You know, if it goes our favor, we'll do real well. I'll be taking profits first at 27.60. Then I'll be looking at this $30 mark. Also, I'll be keeping an eye on the EMAs, the 100 and the 50 EMA potentially coming down, showing strong resistance. Playboy, you know, it is a highly shorted stock, so it could have potential of being really strong. As you guys can see, back in March to May, has potential to, you know, go really nuclear. So there's potential of getting all the way up to 35, and who knows, maybe if it short squeezes a lot and it picks up a lot of steam on Twitter, it can really go crazy. So because of those potential high risk to reward, and it looks like it's really wanted to bottom out, and it has some really good 2 days. You know, it had a good 2 days. Friday not so good, ended up pretty much flat on the day, a little red. I think there's a lot of potential here to watch. I will be adding it to my watch list, but do understand it is a higher risk stock than we usually talk about, so I want you guys to be aware of that. Also, it is looking as an ABCD pattern here. As you guys can see, we have the A, B, my typing is terrible, and trying to make this D. So because all those things showing really, because all those things is showing signs that there is a high potential there. So I'll be watching it for next week. And all you guys, you know, you guys like these meme stocks, you know. I know you guys, I know you guys like the Wish, the Playboys, all those kind of stocks to be on the watch list. So I'll be adding this for you guys. And just another quick clue, Wish is starting to look really good. So if you're in the chat room, you know, be aware that I'm thinking that Wish starting to look good potentially for a short squeeze, because you see a lot of this plays, you know, go hand in hand. You see Playboy starts taking some, you know, starts going hot. Wish, AMC, GME, they'll start getting hot. It's pretty much like their own little meme sector. But those are some of my plays for this week. Comment down below your plays for next week. What are you watching? What are we gonna make some money on? And if you guys like more videos like this, always, you know, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, check out our trading courses. All the links are down below, and I'll see you guys all in the next video.